Hi, everybody. It's Andy Phillips here, and welcome to this edition of the Property Marketing Live. And we're going out live on a couple of different platforms, which is one of the reasons why I'm not going to see all of your comments and things like that. We're going to go out on YouTube. We're going to go out onto Facebook groups as well. This is really for clients or Property Pipeline Pro, but anybody who is interested in property marketing and to find out a little bit more information about how we do things. And what you can do to improve your marketing. So today we're going to be talking about goals, website goals. What is the point of having a goal for your website, and what are the goals that you can have? Every single time we put a website up, there is always a specific goal we're going for. And the primary goal of property sites really is for people to talk to you. I mean, the bottom line is that if you can talk to investors, and we're going to be talking about the investor-facing website on this show, because we do two sites in Property Pipeline Pro. We do an investor-facing site, which is the primary business site that you have, but we also do other sites, which is a motivated seller site. So I'm not going to talk about the motivated seller site so much today. I really want to talk about the goals of your primary site, the one that you actually got for your business. So the websites that we produce are really for property investors who have really got to the point where they want to be property business owners. They need to get investors involved or joint venture partners, let people know about their projects they're doing or their sourced properties they're doing, that sort of thing. The actual websites can be any sort of focus, but we've got to know who our client is and all that sort of thing. So we're going to go into a little bit of that. But looking at the goals of a website, because I see a lot of people putting up websites which are their property site, and they don't have goals. They don't have a reason for actually putting those sites up apart from a very, very simple one, which is credibility. And having a website up is obviously a very, very good idea. If you're running a property business, you want a website up. You want to be able to have that credibility. But credibility only goes so far, because if you think about it, you've got people who may be interested in investing, and an investor has some specific requirements that they're looking for in an investment partner. So put yourself in their shoes. If you've got some money, say you're a time poor but cash rich investor, or someone who just fancies doing some property investment but doesn't really have a lot of time or even a lot of knowledge, they need someone who can do the job, is doing the job, is walking the walk right now. So if you're that person and you're looking for people who are potential investors and want to be able to talk to them, which is the end goal. We want to be able to talk to people. You know, engagement has always got to be the end goal, because once you start talking to people, you can find out if they're the right fit for you and you're the right fit for them. And if those two things together, those two things marry together, then that potential investor becomes an actual investor. And that's really what we want to do. So I'm going to go through some stuff today, which I think you'll find very interesting. This is a very informal way of doing it. This is not some sort of standard presentation as such. I do these things quite on the fly. I'm doing them straight to camera. Don't really think about it too much. I'm just going to exude my knowledge. You know, the stuff that I've learned over the years, the things I've actually done myself. I've been in property development and property investment for a long, long time, since 2001. So I've used these techniques, so I know they work. And within Property Pipeline Pro, what we're trying to do is to get people like yourselves to understand exactly what you need to do to get that end engagement, to actually start talking to people. So as I said, the goal is always to talk. Engagement is king. But how do we get people to that? What's the psychology of a website? And I talk about psychology quite a lot, and in these property marketing lives that we do, you'll hear a lot about the psychology of marketing, because psychology is probably 80% of your marketing. The psychological way you think about what you're trying to achieve and what your investor wants, or what your client wants, because they're clients. So we look at this in a psychological way, and I'd say psychology is around about sort of 20% of everything you do. Sorry, about 80% of everything you do, not 20%. 20% is the technology. So 80% psychology, 20% technology. Now, the technology is obviously important, but it's the tool that we use to not only get in front of people, but to convince them that you're the person they want to talk to. And that is really, really important. So you need to be able to have a good idea of the focus of your site, what you're trying to achieve, who you're talking to, who your ideal client is, and all those sort of things. And I'm going to go through this. So I've got a site up here, and I'm going to sort of walk through a little bit of the psychology of the landing page, the very first page. Now, if you're a Property Pipeline Pro client, you know that we use funnel technology for our clients. There's lots of different ways of getting websites up. You can get WordPress or Wix or Squarespace and all those sort of things up and running. And initially they look like the best route to take because they seem easy and you can do things yourself on them. Not so much on the WordPress side. You really need someone who knows WordPress very, very well. But we don't use any of those. We use funnel technology, and it's a marketing suite. So as I say, if you're a Property Pipeline Pro client, you'll know that and you'll be using it. If you've never seen what we do, then this is going to be quite interesting for you because you're going to see the concept, the difference between funnels and websites. But for all intents and purposes, what the end user sees, the people you're trying to get involved, it's just a website. They don't know any different. It's what's under the bonnet that makes the difference. But let's look at the psychology first. I've got a site up here, and I've got a couple of sites that I put up, and as you can see, they look sort of different. They're different sort of focus. This one's all about property sourcing. This one's more about commercial property and land repurposing. It doesn't really matter what the focus is. Long as your focus is very, very strong and you're really sort of trying to find one type of client for one sort of offer, doesn't really matter what that is. So whatever you're doing, whatever your strategy is, whatever way you're doing your business, it doesn't matter. We can always, create a site and a funnel which is absolutely perfect for your business and the way you run it and what you offer people, and also who your target market is. But the functionality of it is vital. So we're going to be talking about the functionality and how that helps us to get to that end goal. So if you look at this site here, we've got a couple of things. There's the first primary thing we want to do is to get a lead. So if someone's landed on your site, they're obviously interested if they stick around. So the very first part of this is the professionalism of your site. From a psychological point of view, someone who's looking to invest, the very, very first thing they do, if they get to your site, I don't know how you'll market that, whether you're doing it on social media, it doesn't really matter how you market it, whether you're doing ads or you're speaking at front of rooms, doing videos, whatever it is that drives people to the site. As soon as that investor actually lands on your site, the very, very first thing that is going to be key is that the site looks really professional. It looks like you know what you're doing. Because from a psychological point of view, think about it from their point of view. From a psychological point of view, if they land on your website and they don't know what you do and they don't know where to go, you've got a load of navigation, you're talking about this, that, and the other, and it's not focused, it's not appealing to them, they will just leave and they'll probably never come back. And you don't want that. So if you can design a site from the point of psychology, that the site is absolutely perfect for them and it's talking to them, then that's a big tick in the box. That's the very first thing. You want them to stay on the site and have a look at the site. So with this site, everything at the top of the page is really, really important. We call this above the fold. And this sort of goes back right to the days of newspaper print, where you'd walking down the road and you see a newsagent and you see the newspapers outside. and they will be folded in half and stuck in a rack. So the most important message was what was on the front page at the top of the page, because they were folded in half. And that's why it's called above the fold. It's just a marketing term. And hopefully when you watch these, you're going to get to know some of these marketing terms. But everything that is at the top of the page, when people open your page for the first time, it has to basically all be there. So you can see on this one here, if I just take this off, you can see that there's a headline here, there's a call to action, and there could be a video here, it could be a picture of your download or whatever, but it's straight away, it says, this is what we do. And you can also have strap lines about how you can help people, because again, from a strategic point of view, you really want to sort of get people to read that first headline and say, I'm in the right place. At least I know I'm in the right place. Let me read some more. So straight away, professional site, above the fold, everything is above the fold that is really going to be important. Same with this one. It says exactly what this company does. But also you'll see a button down here. There's a button here that says, sounds interesting, find out more about Cirrus Property Solutions Limited. And then download our initial property investor pack. Now, an investor pack is just a PDF, but it's a really important part of all this. If people look at your site and they've gone down and they've seen a little bit more and they've read a bit about you, and you've got a little section here about what you do, how you work, and why you use us, and a little bit about your values maybe. You can even have some things down here, which is some of the projects you do. So you might have some information about the projects. You can see this is all Latin on here because it's a demo site, but it's just to give you an idea. You've also got some testimonials down here as well, which is always really good. You can also have accreditations on your site. So as you know, most people, if they're dealing with investor cash, you need to be compliant. If you've got your ICO and PRS and all the other stuff that you need, you can have that on there as well. But you can have sort of some photographs of your projects. But another thing you can have is things like video on there as well. And what we do with our videos, when we have clients that have got like walkthroughs of property, or the sort of thing that we used to do when we was doing land deals, we just take a phone with us and we'd film on the phone and just talk about the deal we've got, maybe show them the piece of land that we're going to build the properties on. Then we might go to some of the buildings that we're building at the moment, some of the property that we're building at the moment, show them around the quality and things like that. And it just gets them interested, it gets people interested, because they want to see what you do. They want to see that you walk in the walk rather than just sticking a website up and hoping for the best. But something like a video like this, which you can see that it's obvious it's a video. It's got a little video marker in it, and when they hover over it, it sort of flashes with a color, which we can decide. But when they click on that, it opens up a full page video, like a full shot video. And so now you can do your project video walkthroughs and include them in your site as well. Again, it just shows massive, massive professionalism, which is the whole point of it. And once they've seen some of those videos or read some of the information, they'll want to know a little bit more about you. Now, again, from a psychological point of view, they probably won't call you straight away. Not many people do. They just want to know a little bit more information. This is where your guide comes in, or your initial welcome investor pack comes in, which is just a PDF document. But it's got to be, again, a really good professional PDF document. So they click on here, they put their details in. Once they submit their details, you've got a lead. You've got someone you can talk to, because what we ask for is first name, last name, email, and phone number. So you can email them, you can phone them. But the most important thing about the functionality of this site is that the system will email them for you. So they'll straight away get an email. But as soon as they click that button, the thing or the page that they go through to is the guide. So straight away, you're delivering what you promised. And again, this is all about professionalism. It's not just about what's on the front page. It's about how a client proceeds through your site. So now you've got them to a page where they can download it. And there's a little button here to do that. And this will go through to a Google Drive, which has the PDF on it. Now, the reason why we put it onto a Google Drive is because there's a few things that make this an easier way for you to provide information. If you just put a link into a PDF that just downloads automatically on their computer, you really have to make sure that that PDF is the right PDF all the time. And things change over time. So what we're trying to do here is have the ability, and I'll show you quickly the way that works, is if you do change your PDF, you don't have to change it on your site. We have something where within the Property Pipeline Pro software, if you change your PDF, you change it in one place, and that link gets populated throughout all the emails that you'll send out, and anything anywhere on the site that PDF is going to be downloaded. So you only have to change it once, and it can change it everywhere. This is why we use things like Google Drive, because it makes it easier for you. But it's also something which people are very, very familiar with. And they can just download it from here. So they click on that and it'll download it. But if you look at the quality of the PDFs that you should be doing, what it actually should be looking like, it's just very, very professional again. And again, works with the branding of your business. So you look like a proper company that's can do proper business with them, and they can feel safe in your hands. Again, just pure psychology. But as you can see, it looks good, but it gives them the information they want. So who you are, meet the team, what we do as we go down this. So you might have a lot of bits of information about what you do, why invest in South Wales. And this is the one I did for one of my businesses, which was doing stuff down in South Wales, down in Merthyr Tydfil. But if you put in whatever is the area that you're working in, or the type of properties, or the strategies that you're working with, and just keep on going down. These are actually some photographs of the actual properties that I did in South Wales, the actual the builds, the new build property that we put down in South Wales. But you can also have things like financials in there. People always want to know what sort of returns they're going to get for their investment, or how that investment financially has worked. So you can put information into that as well. Talk about your returns, talk about your exit strategies. It's one of the things that a lot of investors want to know, is about what happens at exit, or what happens if things go wrong, or what happens if you die. I mean, this is really, really important information for people to have. And it shows that you've thought about that investor in a way that most people don't. Most people who are pretty amateur will think about how to get the money together. But if you're doing this and you're showing huge professionalism by saying, look, this is what happens when X happens, it really does make a lot of difference to the investor. And they feel a lot more convinced that you're the person to talk to. And then how we work with our clients. And, again, the great thing is you can, with PDFs, if you do them the right way and you do them in a professional way, which we do help our clients with, because we don't expect people to know exactly how to do this. This is what we do all day. So, but we can also have buttons in here. So if you have a testimonial video, which is on one of the landing pages, or a page within your file, or even just on YouTube or Vimeo or something like that, you can put the link to that testimonial page in there. And again, with how we work with our clients, the last part of this, we can put a button in there to book a call, because don't forget, the goal is to talk to someone. That's really what we're trying to do here, is to get you and the prospect investor to have a conversation. And that's what is so important. So again, we just go down here, your next step. Again, it's another thing. You can put the phone number in, and again, the book a call with us. And I think this is the important part of this. So we have this guide, which they put their details in, which means you get a lead. It goes into your CRM. It also means that it will populate in your pipeline. If you've got that linked up with Property Pipeline Pro, we do all that for you anyway. But if you're not using Property Pipeline Pro, you probably need a CRM, and you're going to need something like a pipeline, so you know exactly where everybody is. But once they've actually done that, you've got the lead, they've got the PDF. Now you can either give them a call or wait for them via a little email sequence. So if they're in the system, what we do is we put a little sequence in there, which is an email sequence, which isn't obtrusive and it isn't spammy, but it's just keeping them in contact, maybe putting some other information out. But all the time, what we're trying to do is, the call to action in all those emails is, why not book a call? Next email, piece of information at the end of it, why not book a call? So we're trying to drive people into the end goal. So the primary call to action on the site is to download the investor guide so we can get the lead, so we can actually start talking to them, provide them with more information. But everything is about booking a call. But we also have a secondary call to action on the site as well, which is to book a call. And if you look down here, we've got a big button here on this site, which again is to book a call. So if they click that one, or they click the one at the top, where all that's going to happen is it's going to go to your call booking page. And if any of you used things like a Calendly or Acuity, that sort of thing, you'll see the sort of thing we're talking about. But this, again, this call booking is all part of the Property Pipeline Pro system. So we're not using Calendly. We're not using all these other bits of software, just using this one marketing suite that does everything, which is really quite important, because it means that it's cheaper, it's easier to put together. And it just makes more sense because everything's locked in. The information that people put into this. So when they'll pick a time, they picked a date and they pick a time and click on that. If they've already downloaded the guide, this is what we call a sticky form. So their name, their email, and their phone number will already be in there. They've just got to hit submit details. But you could use this if you just talk to someone and said, oh yeah, I'll book a call with you. All right, send my call booking link over. You send to this page and they'll fill that in, submit the details. They will get an email straight away. And you will get an internal email through the system. And the internal email will basically say, this person's booked a call on this date. And this has gone into your calendar. And when you look in your calendar, the call time will be booked in there. This is really having a much more professional way of doing this. So everything is sorted. All the software does is make sure that everybody's informed and it goes into your calendar so you know you've got a call booked. It will also send out reminder emails to your prospect as well. So again, really important. It's again, from a psychological point of view, we send out an email straight away saying, congratulations, your call is booked. We then send another email out a day before the call. And just as a polite reminder, don't forget we've got a call tomorrow, because we want them to turn up, obviously. And another email will go out to them 1 hour beforehand. Now, you might think it's a little over the top, but it's proven to increase the rate of turn up to a call. If you stick one email out and just leave it, you'll find that a lot of people don't actually go on that call. If you send out a reminder a day before and an hour before, and even send them a text, what I do is, when I know I've got a call coming up, I send them a little text. And it's just a polite one saying we've got a call in the next hour. You can actually set it up automatically, but the best way of doing it is just send them a text message. They turn up a lot more in more numbers because you've sent that reminder sequence out. So again, it's just an automation that we do at the back end for our clients. But it's important to have those things in there. So now they booked their call, they just submit their details, and all those automations will happen. So you've got to the end goal. You're actually going to talk to someone. You're going to see if they're right for you and you're right for them. And it makes more sense than just a static site. So I hope that's given you some idea about why we do that and why we have goals and why the goals are important to us. Instead of having a static site, you have a site that actually converts people and gets them to the point where you can talk to the people who are most interested. Again, it's just a sales funnel. You get a lot of people coming in at the top. Some people will stay. Some people will download your prospectus or your investor pack. Some people will then call. The people who go through this funnel are the most interested and the people you'll probably convert the easiest. If you don't have any of this, you're going to be leaving cash on the table. You're not going to be reaching the amount of people that you want to do and actually getting to your end goal as quickly and as fast as you could do. So that's why we do this. That's why we have goals on sites and when we have calls to action to enable those goals. So I hope you've enjoyed that. If you want more of these sort of things, or you want to get notified when we do these lives, as I say, we do them probably once a week, unless I'm on holiday or something like that, but we do them on a weekly basis. If you want to get notified, probably the best place to go to is to YouTube. I'll stick all the links below. If you're watching this on YouTube, obviously you can see it's on YouTube. But if you're watching on Facebook, click on the link to the Property Pipeline Pro Facebook group, YouTube channel, and click on subscribe, and also click on the notification bell, because then you'll know when we're going live. And as I say, we do these once a week. We're hitting lots of different subjects, and we're talking about a whole variety of marketing processes, psychology and technology, and how to actually get more people to do the things you want them to do. Identify the right people, attract the right people, and then convert them into leads and ultimately deals and partnerships. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for joining us, and I'll see you next week.